Ivan Toney is back playing football. The man was banned for breaking rules, so now has to rebuild his career with the Bees. Today we're going to try and get his career back on track and see if we can help the forward become one of the best strikers of all time. As yes, here we are taking charge of Brentford, but more importantly, Ivan Toney's career as... You knew I had to put the Arsenal kit on. As we're not setting any objectives for Toney's career, we're just seeing how he can do in this squad. He has got the same rating he had before in FC 24, apart from he hasn't got a player face this time. He will do soon, as he's 27-year-old, so if we are to make him the best in the world, we are gonna have to get a move on. Also, can he become the best in the world at a squad that doesn't have many real world-class players? It's gonna be difficult to stand out, and as you can see, he's got a 2-year contract. It expires in 2025, and a 46 million evaluation. Yeah, clubs are gonna have to pay a lot, and for a man that hasn't played much football recently, it's a bit of a gamble, especially with them stats, the age. It doesn't add up for a very nice reading. So I think we'll have to stay at Brentford. Season number 1. Ivan's going to start the season with a game against Spurs. And we aren't going to touch his career. It is up to the big man himself to make an impact. He's in the starting 11 anyway. He has returned. And it's a 4-2 defeat to Spurs. Does he get on the score sheet? No. Johan Visser and Brian Abuembo, the two players around him, getting the goals. Okay, not the best start. In fact, it's only a 5.5 rating. We did get beat, of course, but we'll see how he's done halfway through season 1. As so far into season number 1, it's not going well overall for Brentford. Toney can't be getting relegated. That won't be good for his trophies, as he wants to win them. And he is in a semi-final of the Carabao Cup, however. That's not too bad, as rating-wise, he's also joint now with Mark Flecken as the highest in Brentford's squad. Is he highest in goals, though? He isn't. 3 goals and 3 assists in only 17 games. 17 games. That is quite poor. Is there much competition at the club? We need to see the strikers. There's only Nathan Young-Coombs. Shade doesn't even play up front. And it looks like Neil Maupay has been recalled by Everton. Yes, he has. That's actually better for us, but will Brentford bring in another striker? Oh. And it looks like Brentford do want to replace Toney. Thomas Frank has brought in a like-for-like replacement, Tammy Abraham. And that has sent Toney to the bench. That's not good, especially for the big man's career. And we are close to the end of the window, as it looks like Frank's preferring Tammy. 1 game, 1 goal, an 8.3 rating. He's younger than Toney as well, who has scored 2 more goals since last time. But I think we've got to get him out here. He is not going to progress with Tammy Abraham fighting for a position. Also, Brentford are losing in the Carabao Cup, so we're not exactly running away from a trophy here. And the only offer for Ivan so far is an offer from Liverpool. Will he play, though? Will he play? I mean, the only real competition at the club, the striker in his position, is Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez, he came from... Oh, it's interesting. For now, I think I'm just going to stall on it and see if we get a better offer. And I don't know if we will get another offer, because we're already on deadline day. Oh, and it doesn't look like many more offers for Ivan. We might have to go and accept Liverpool as... Oh, no, we left it too long. What an L, man. What an L, as that is the window as well. Wrapped up. There we go. The chime goes at midnight, and Ivan Toney will stay a Brentford player. Please tell me we survive as well, as yes, Brentford. I mean, with Tammy and Ivan Toney, Brentford really should be staying up with ease. It was a 4-point survival, as we didn't do well in the FA Cup as well here with Brentford. We crashed out in round 4 to Championship Leicester. We also lost 6-3 to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup semis, as Aston Villa beat Liverpool on pens 9-8. That would have been heartbreak if we went. As you can see, the team's very unhappy, and Tammy Abraham is starting, so probably very unhappy Ivan Toney as well. This is damaging for a 28-year-old's career. You can see, ooh, there's an approach by Leicester City. That could be interesting, as Ivan Toney overall didn't get played much more. It is 5 goals and 3 assists in Ivan's first season here with Brentford. Also 28 now, as yes, there is an offer from Leicester City on the table. 51.6 million, and it still stands. This could be interesting. The team that beat us in the cup, and you can see they dominated the EFL Championship. Yes, of course it's not a Liverpool, but for season number 2, this could be a good move to rebuild Ivan Toney's career. It is accepted. As season number 2, here we are in Leicester City's state-of-the-art training ground, where Ivan Toney is being announced. The only thing is, we've got to change that number on the back. As I apologise to Luke Thomas, but the left wing back is not having that number 17 any longer. Looking in the squad hub, you can see Ivan is the best rated player here at Leicester, and I do think the club's good enough to stay up. We have Wilfred Ndidi, Ricardo Pereira, Wout-Faced, James Justin, Keenan Dewsbury Hall stayed around, as the contract we signed is only 76k. But hey, it's a 3-year deal, and it's kind of a little bit of a safety net. We're definitely safe from being released, as this is what the team looks like. You can see Ivan is straight in there, and his stats, to be fair, getting better than last season. The only competition really in the team is Patson Daka. It looks to me like Jamie Vardy's retired, and that will definitely do for me. One thing we've got to do this season as well, we want to get some revenge on Thomas Frank and Brentford. We want to beat them in the league this season, where there's a team like Middlesbrough in it, Sheffield United. I hope we can survive, as it doesn't look like Leicester's making any improvements with only 8 million in the transfer budget. As Toney needs to start off well in a Leicester shirt, we need to make sure we're not replaced here with Leicester, Brighton, Hove Albion at the Amex. This will be an interesting game. Dzebri has that team right there playing excellent football. But this team around us has got promoted, and it's going to fight. We're going to quick sim this, as can we? Yes! We do get the opening day win here. Leicester City out here to mess around, and Ivan Toney does score, but he's missed a penalty as well. That doesn't happen. I'm pretty sure Ivan Toney's missed like 1 penalty ever. So that is really hard to take. Still, we've got to try and move. And at least he did score 1 goal. And halfway through, I'm hoping he scored goals, as Toney's Leicester looks very, very decent. 10th in the league ain't bad. I mean, we are level with Manchester United on points. Oh, and not only that, we are above Chelsea by 3 whole points. This is hilarious, man. They're still that bad, as we have Bolton in the FA Cup. Oh, and Grimsby with Wimbledon. Go on, lads, as it is no success in the Carabao Cup, as we were beaten by Championship Millwall in the Carabao. I mean, what is up with Toney liking to lose to Championship teams? It was this team, Leicester, last year, of course, with Brentford, as the team looks decent. Ivan, 83 rated. That is by 2 overall, the best at the squad, as Wilfred Ndidi is second. How many goals for Ivan, though? He is top scorer. It is 7 goals and 3 assists. Not the double digits I'd like, but hey, we're getting assists. Not the same can be said for Casey McAteer. He needs to actually work on setting Ivan up a little bit more. Hey, and as we're training Toney here, you can see it's only 6 weeks till his next increase, and that's kind of got me regretting not taking that transfer up with Liverpool. Can't live on regrets anyway, as it's 15 million for Leicester, so I think we can go into the second half of the season knowing that we're not going to get replaced as the striker. And 15 million in the bank, 14th in the table. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish above Chelsea. Them and Manchester United in 9th and 8th. As you look down the table, 14th ain't bad for a newly promoted team, surviving by 9 points over Leeds United. Apologies to the Whites, as apologies to the Leicester fans. Again, we were beaten by a League One club this time in Bolton in the FA Cup. That is horrific, as in this Leicester team, ooh, it's a very nice rating for Toney now. As you can see, we're still now 4 above the rating of Wilfred Ndidi. He literally can't catch us. Dewsbury Hall, I thought he'd be better than he actually is. But the big question is, did McAteer actually assist us? No, he didn't. One of the greediest players I've ever seen. At least Steffi Mavadidi did. He got 6 assists and 12 goals, but it doesn't match the 15 goals of now a 29-year-old Ivan Toney. He's not the best aged, but we're still going to try and keep going with his career. Come on, Ivan. You've still got a good few years in you, as that marks the end of another full season here with Leicester City, and it is a lot better than the season we had with Brentford. A season number 2 here with Leicester, and I've got to say, I'm not feeling too good. Budget being depleted means we may be getting replaced. I hope that's not the case, as, oh, it isn't. You can see right there on the bench, Dakary's there, and Casey McAteer, as he's been replaced by Riyad Mahrez back at the club. Now, that's interesting to see. Of course, not joined by Jamie Vardy, but Ivan Toney instead, and João Neves in the midfield. That is absolutely huge for a club like Leicester. We still are the highest rated as well, as Riyad, unfortunately getting older, and it's got me thinking, does the age of Toney, 29, mean that we have to move on? Because to be fair, 15 goals for a 14th place team. If someone can pay that 85 million valuation, I think that Ivan Toney could be on the move again. It could be 3 clubs in 3 seasons. As you look at that bid, Real Madrid coming in for Ivan. Wow, I think they'll have a decent striker. Again, we're gonna check. Maximilian Bayer, Julian Jean, and Juan Lataza surely shouldn't be enough to keep out Ivan Toney. So without further ado, I think Leicester will benefit from this. Ivan Toney is going to La Liga. As here we go, Ivan Toney turning up at the Real Madrid training ground. Now this is a new one. Of course, there's Harry Kane at Bayern Munich, but this is very unnatural. Also, touching on that, when's Toney playing for England? I mean, off-season has finished, yes, but here is Ivan, and looking at the team. Oh, Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. Them two are playing up front. Now, that is something I didn't expect to see. Vinny Jr., one of the world's best players. Same with Rodrigo. But, of course, they're not fully trained as strikers. They are trying, though, as Vinicius Jr. takes 400 plus weeks. So, hopefully, that puts Toney in the squad. Rodrigo a little bit less time, but those two lads hopefully don't push us out, as we can't change the formation. We've got to play what Ancelotti wants. As you can see as well, it is a 190k 3-year deal. That is very good for Ivan's future prospects. But as you saw a minute ago, in the team, Toney is only placed on the bench. It's not what I do personally, but of course, it's not my decision. Hopefully, Toney plays here. I mean, Real Madrid did just pay almost 90, almost 100 million for him. A lot of money spent on a bench player from Ancelotti, as we've got Girona in the first game at the Bernabeu. And yes, as we expected, no Ivan Toney in the starting 11. Jude, hopefully, puts in a good word for us in the future. As does he come off the bench, maybe? He doesn't, and Jude Bellingham, not a good word. He gets sent off. It is Rodrigo with the double, and as you can see there, no bench appearance for Ivan Toney, as it was a loss as well. Hopefully that teaches the management a lesson, as we have a Champions League group as well. From fighting relegation with Leicester to now playing Dortmund, Fiorentina and Copenhagen. And it seems in La Liga there is a fight back since the, well, torrid start with a loss in the league. Okay, manager Ancelotti is getting it right, but still, is he getting Ivan Toney right? I mean, before we check the stats, we are through as expected against Atalanta, but Real Madrid did it the hard way. Might be top of La Liga, but did lose 6 points to Dortmund in the group stages. Questions to be asked. As you can see, Vinny Jr. has gone up a rating. Not a good sign for Ivan Toney, who is a steady 86, we'll have to say. It's kind of alright, or it's kind of better than alright. We've played 22 games and scored 12 goals. Yes, we've took Rodrigo's position because Vinny Jr. is playing. He's got the sharpness icon. Sorry to Rodrigo, but also not sorry. You've been dropped, mate. Better luck next time. And end of the season, you can see there is no Champions League final for Real Madrid. That's actually quite a shock. It seems like when we're not managing a club, we don't really do well. Will Ancelotti have questions to be answered? Definitely not in La Liga, as he hammers a big gap between Real and Barca. 14 points as Ivan Toney picks his first trophy up since, of course, coming back from his suspension. It's only took 3 clubs, as it's not only that, though, but the Supercopa is won as well. Does the Copa España make it a triple? It is a domestic triple here, and a treble, should I say, actually. Get in there. Really good going. It's just a question of the Champions League, where Barcelona are in the final. Not good, actually. We can hammer them all we want in the league, but when we lose to Atalanta in the round of 16, 4-3, it's slightly embarrassing. Not what we expected, as now Ivan Toney is 30-year-old. Still, I think we've got a few more seasons in him. He is not done yet. As also, looking at this menu, I've only just realised we've got an excellent form arrow, but rotational? We're not going to stand for that next season, as we haven't really stood for it this season. 31 goals! 31 goals, 52 games. We played a lot, and we assisted a lot as well, with 12 assists. A 7.6 rating overall, and it was 6 goals in the Champions League for Ivan Toney. A fantastic season. As if there was any questions about us moving on next year, Rodrigo has been sold to Chelsea, so that should be Toney cemented in Real Madrid squad, which is a very good sign for us. Just need to keep going now. Rodrigo has gone. We scored 30 plus goals, but second season round, Ivan Toney, as you can see, he's just signed a new contract, and it's got a sporadic role. Now, why is that the case? Why have we been moved to a sporadic role? Okay. Now we know. Gabriel Jesus has been signed. That's not great. He can play in right wing, but we don't have right wingers, and Ivan's got better stats all round. That is really not what we wanted. Of course, Vinny Jr. is going to play. He's the main man. And Gabriel Jesus has been given the crucial role. Of course he has. Right. Toney might have to move again. Just depends if anyone will pay for a 30-year-old with 109.5 million as his evaluation. Ooh, and the first offer in for Ivan is from Atletico Madrid, the rivals. We could really dunk on Ancelotti here, but we're not going to do that. We're not that kind of player. We're going to reject that one. I kind of want to move back to England, as the next club is Leicester City. Now, I appreciate they're willing to pay all the money. Maybe it's part of a buyback clause, but no, Leicester, I'm sorry. I want to win more trophies. We're hungry for them. As Germany, Diogo Jota in the deal. It does get rid of a striker, but again, I want a Prem move. As this is more like it. Gabriel Jesus has just left Arsenal as the Gunners putting a bid. Of course, it was written in the stars, as Leandro Trossard is their main player, really. There's a 90 rated Bukayo Saka, but striker-wise, John Jules, Max Holloway, and Biereth aren't really going to touch the striker position. As here we go, it's been a different journey for Ivan to get to the club that everyone rumours him with. Surely the number 17 gets given to him, as here he is in Arsenal colours. It kind of looks natural. As there he is, fitting into what looks like a very good attacking Arsenal side. The only problem is, these two defenders right here, Kiwior and Klaus, that's not Premier League winning quality. Of course, we don't know what Arsenal's expectations really are. You can see it's already third, as we have just joined literally on the day of the first game at Stamford Bridge. Talk about getting thrown back into it. As, come on, we can win though, please, against some London rivals. Toney with a goal and Martin Odegaard with the other one. That's brilliant. Come on, as we forgot to check, but now I've seen it, I'm very happy. Ivan Toney is a crucial player. He's also been given the number 9 with 290k a year. Highest paid player alongside Gabriel Martinelli. Everything's set up for success here at Arsenal. And I mean, after 6 games, it's not the best start. It's definitely not the best start. Brentford were above us. Yes, the first team we were at. As though we're in a Champions League group, Brentford aren't. We've got Bayer Leverkusen, Fenerbahce, and Sporting Lisbon. And I wonder how that's gone. Champions League for the second time with Ivan, who has gone up to an 89 rated. Will he hit the rating of 90? Will be interesting to see. It's also interesting to see that the board have listened to the comments I made about no strength at right back. Klaus is completely out. And Rico Lewis, just like Zinchenko, has come across as a fullback from City. I'm pretty sure he was with Ivan at Real Madrid, though, so he's come to Arsenal the long way round, as we are very far off the citizens. Has Ivan even scored enough goals? I mean, he's going to have to score goals against his former club. Same with Gabriel Jesus as we meet Real Madrid in the UCL. Interesting, as we actually only have one win in the UCL, Arsenal. Altogether, 5 draws ain't really good. It also ain't good getting beat by rivals Manchester United in the Carabao Cup, as Toney can't be doing that good. Oh wait, yes he is. It's about the other players stepping up. I mean, Odegaard is assisting us, but Bukayo Saka for 90 rated, come on. You have got to be better. It's not really looked like a good season. As you can see at the end as well, Arsenal finished second. I mean, not to sound unbiased, but I do think the Prem's harder than La Liga, and Toney's done well in it, so it shows a bit of progression. One thing that hasn't progressed, though, is our luck in the UCL. Gabriel Jesus gets the upper hand. We're beaten 4-3 by Real Madrid, who eventually win the Champions League. What a mistake it was leaving them. What a mistake. It's going to be a trophyless first season. I believe we must have been beaten in the first round. Yes! Everton destroyers. As now the 31-year-old 90-rated Ivan Toney, I want to say has no thinking to do, but he does. He wants to win the biggest trophies of them all, and Arsenal haven't done it here, despite the man scoring 34 goals, 4 assists. Saka stepped it up a little bit himself, but Ivan Toney, we just want trophies in England. Is that too much to ask for? I could genuinely cry. I could genuinely cry. I just want the best for Ivan Toney's end of career, as Toney has just signed a new deal. 30 grand a week extra for Ivan. But of course, we don't care about that. It's all good being loyal to a team, but if the team doesn't win anything, then you've got issues. I care more about the money that the club has. Arsenal, please spend that. Toney needs help. We might be in the Champions League again, but I kind of want to sniff out winning the Premier League. We need some strength if we're going to compete with City as, ooh, Ivan Toney watching a new player in training. Who's this that Arsenal have just signed for 81 million? Okay, a central defender in Bremer. That's not bad at all, and as you can see, his stats are a lot better than Kivior's. I still can't believe, though, even though he's one of the world's best, Ivan Toney never been picked for England. Not once. Nada. Niche recognition from Southgate. We'll just have to keep on going, though. Maybe it has something to do with the banning. I don't know. As we've got Newcastle first up this year, let's make it a year to remember. As come on, Ivan. No signings that threaten our position as well. That is a huge thing. Of course, we could have been pushed out of this squad, so it's going to be a 2-0 win. Get in there. Saka scoring this season. And of course, Ivan himself. Get in there. It's actually 2 goals in 2 games for both Saka and Toney, and that's got me thinking, I missed the Community Shield. Did Toney win this? Yes, he did. Beating City as well. Is that a sign of things to come? I hope so. I hope so. As the Champions League group, let's not just win 1 game this year. Let's get some wins against Leipzig, Ajax, and FC Basel. And Arsenal, this season, trying to make it a season to remember, are not doing a very good job of that. Come on, Ivan Toney deserves better. Surely he's top scorer again with a team in 6th position. Not good at all, as we've got a London derby in the FA Cup. That's right, moving straight away from the league. I do not want to dwell on that position. It could send me crazy. As Carabao Cup, though, we were beaten in the quarterfinals by Leeds United. Champions League make me happy. Champions League makes me happy. We've got Barcelona. As in our group, we didn't come out on top, but we found a way, and this year, it has to be better than last. Oh, and it seems like we didn't pave the way enough. Arsenal finished 6th. To be fair, we're not the only bad performers. Look at that, we still finished above City, United, and Spurs, the rivals, which is a good sign. And to be fair, we will be guaranteed Europa League football, as Arsenal win the FA Cup. A trophy gets in, but it won't be a Champions League trophy as we were beaten in the semi-finals. No, so close. It was Inter who beat us. That's gotta hurt Toney. It's gotta hurt the Arsenal squad for such high ratings. Just slim margins. And now Toney's 32. 92 rated, but 32. Retirement must be round the corner. And still no Champions League. We need that before it happens. With 30 goals coming from Ivan, 22 from Martinelli. A good season for Toney, who's just getting better. But it's the team that needs to get better. As again, start of this next season, Arsenal's bench just seems to have got a lot weaker. There is no Eddie Nketiah, with Breriev being our biggest threat, so that should mean more time for Toney. However, no English football is outstanding, and only 11 months on the contract. That is big, as we haven't got Champions League football here with Arsenal. Could that make him move? I mean, to be fair, Arsenal have made another signing, another centre-back, so they do know how to please Toney. He's a big fan of seeing defenders come in, as Brighton, to be fair, have Champions League football. Looks like there was a bid from Atletico before that, and to be fair, Toney could be a popular character. He has the pick of a lot of clubs, but like we said, we're going to give Arsenal a half of the season as we start at the Emirates against Manchester City. If we could beat City, maybe it could persuade him that there will be a good season. Martinelli and Odegaard. Toney actually doesn't score, but a 2-0 win at home against one of the league's best may prove that Arsenal are building. Stupid to say, I know, after we've just been relegated to the Europa League, but you can see we've got Lille, Trabzonspor and Shamrock Rovers, as Toney still seems to be relatively happy. Will he stay happy though? That is the question, as it seems like the league position may keep him happy, that is. And maybe, of course, at the club as Arsenal 5 points above City. Wow, that is brilliant. As equally enough as well, the Europa League is brilliant. No defeats and we are going straight through to the knockouts. A great half of the season. However, one of the injuries to the defenders could make all the difference. But will it make a difference to Toney? I don't think so, as he's now on a 7.8 overall and he scored 20 goals, 5 assists. He's still beating the young Saka. Fantastic. Fantastic, as we've avoided Man United and Liverpool behind us, as we've got Bristol City in the Cup. Not bad. Less can be said for the Carabao Cup, however, as Newcastle knock us out. Ivan Toney's ex-team, but still, we've got to see if, yes, Ivan Toney will sign a new contract, as there we go. He will be staying at Arsenal with a wage increase to 340k. But still, will Ivan be able to keep going with the Gunners at the top? And what complements a contract? A trophy, of course, as it isn't the league. We haven't checked that yet, but Arsenal have done it. Europa League and UCL secured. Fantastic news, as less can be said for the FA Cup, though. It doesn't matter. We've already won that. It is the Prem that matters, as Arsenal and Ivan Toney have hammered their way to the top of England. Not only has he won La Liga now, he has won the Premier League at 33 years of age, and that's got me thinking, will Ivan Toney retire? It doesn't say anything about that yet, and I'm just going to take confidence by that. If it says it, we're worried, as we are not worried about his ability, though. Who would want to retire when they're scoring 43 goals at league level? Because, of course, he has still bizarrely not got the England call-up. And to be fair, we don't want to focus on that, as Ivan Toney has one more competition to go. If he retires in it, I don't care, as long as he gets his hands on it. And this next season we're in, it looks like Arsenal have been spending Fratesi in the club, Da Costa and Darwin. How fun is it that Darwin was one of the players we were scared of earlier on, and now he's sat behind us. Enjoy it on that bench, as it looks like it's really took the money out for us. Is Darwin that expensive? I mean, he is only sporadic, and he's 30-year-old as well, so I'm not too worried about him playing on a one-year contract, as we've only got 1 year left, and you can see the rating's gone down. And that is because when I go to look at the contracts, yes, we cannot sign one up. Ivan Toney is retiring at the end of this season. Arsenal's just won the league. He's just won the league. But it will be the last season out of this man right here. So hopefully, Arsenal, let's make it a good one. As it goes without saying, Toney cannot leave Arsenal as the first game of the season, the Community Shield. Can we get another trophy? To start off with, we do. And it is actually Saka at the double that secures us the trophy. It's good to keep on winning, but we don't care about that. We care more about this Palace game in the Premier League. Toney playing a lot of London-based clubs, and this time he wins, but again, fails to score. And before we check the Champions League, it is fair to say that the retirement now is fully kicking in Ivan. He's gone down to 90 rated, 33-year-old, but still he does carry the number 9 shirt at Arsenal. And besides, we do have Champions League football. Toney will still be confident, as let's see if the confidence pulls him through. And so far, in Ivan Toney's last season, will it be success? It will! Top of the league with Arsenal, but still, it is far from over. That would make 2 trophies. As you can see as well, we are through to the round of 16 in the UCL. This time avoiding Real Madrid, who, to be fair, have drawn PSG. Might be difficult for the rivals as Dortmund are out. And yes, finally, we finished top of a UCL group stage. That is fantastic. As you can see as well, Ivan Toney has kept his 90 rating. Sure, his stats will probably start going down, but to be fair, he's definitely done a good job of keeping Nunes out. How many goals has he got altogether, though? You can see the younger players getting better than him now, and he's not one of the world's best. He actually... Oh. He's only scored 5 goals. 5 goals and only 3 in the Premier League. This is not the outgoing that Toney would have wanted. As we have now hit the end of the season, and I'm looking at the team, thinking it's very good. Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, all 92 rated, as Ivan Toney now, at 34, is 89. How many goals did he score, though? Did he make it up slightly? 17 goals in 57 games. As that is a lot of games. Does that mean we've got more competitions? I don't know. But to start off with, we see the Premier League. And we know we've done it back-to-back. FA Cup's the next thing to check. And oh, we didn't make it. We actually lost in the semis. And that, my friends, is semi-disappointing. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I don't think Toney will anyway. Because he knows after that... Or before that, we won the Carabao Cup. But we're in the final, as there is one more thing to check. And yes! Ivan Toney's done it! Champions League final! The season before he retires, we beat Milan, as Inter was in the other game against City. Benfica beaten, and Juve beaten. Don't really care that we've beaten them, though. All I care about is this final game, as it will end Toney's career. As we've really got to take a look at Toney's career, it has been eventful. So many goals, so many assists. He is going to be loving it. Retirement on those beaches, enjoying those cocktails is just what Ivan Toney will probably be about. But to be fair, before he enjoys it, he's got some business to attend to. So without further ado, into this Champions League final we go. And we're traveling to Portugal for this final right here. And as you can see, we're taking control of Toney just for this one game. And we've had to change the camera angle as, oh no, it's City attacking first and Erling Haaland. We've got no control over the defense. Erling Haaland scores, and that is a terrible start for Arsenal. Come on. I don't like this, as now it's down to us, of course, to try and get us back in this. Ivan Toney making a run, pointing to where he wants it, and Martinelli is around his man. Give this to Toney. He tries to get a shot off. Looking to get back into this, as the cross as well. He's shouting for it everywhere, is Ivan Toney, as we've got to make sure he's not too selfish. This is a good move. We've kept the ball. Just pass it off to Locatelli, into Martin Odegaard to shoot. Almost 2 goals for 2 Norwegians, as now we're back defending. How's our defending going to be? Because the corner ball whipped in, and Martinelli's better than us. And we've managed to get the ball off them as well. Havertz, oh, Parisi, just hold up on your pass, mate, a little bit longer. Let me get into position a bit as Forbes trying to get around Parisi. It's a good block from, of course, us. And this is a chance for us to run. Ivan Toney getting the ball through. We're going to have to lay it back off. Martinelli forward onto Martin Odegaard. Smart turn from Martin Odegaard. And that is Arsenal level. It is the man just playing behind us who gets in front of us to score. Get in there. Toney, not a completely selfish player, and Martin has saved us. 2 Norwegians scoring the goals. That is brilliant. Just what we needed as Bremer, our central defender. Saka, we're on top now. Bukayo Saka, find me. Ivan Toney here in the middle. He lets the ball run, and Kai Havertz strikes for a second. It is double trouble here for Arsenal. Both attacking midfielders, and it is Kai Havertz with the moves. Boom, boom, boom. It is a brilliant dummy as well from Ivan Toney. He may not be scoring in his final game here, but it is his team in front, and it's just about staying this way now. Ooh, we had a bit of a run on right there, but Martinelli gets it back, plays the ball back through to us. Ivan Toney, first chance to shoot here. Ooh, and that was a good curler. Could it be another before half-time? I don't know, because we're going to keep the ball here. Parisi, slot that in. Ivan Toney on the run. Oh, it's Ederson who steals it, and it will just be 2-1 at half-time. Still, this is as good as it stands as Martin Odegaard. Second half, we need it to carry on, and we're just about to shoot. We actually haven't done enough of that in this game. We need to start shooting more as Martin Odegaard finding a good ball through to Toney here. This may be our chance. It is Ivan Toney in his final game in professional football, lifting it over Ederson, and that is a goal on the counter-attack. Ivan Toney celebrating with Locatelli and Odegaard as he gets his goal, and that should be 17 or 18 for the season. Don't care the exact number. In the black boots, lifts it over the keeper, and that is an advantage. Game's still not over, though. Game's still not over as, oh, Ramsdale called into a good save. Don't know who that was hitting it, as that's a poor corner as well. Martinelli heading it out. We'll just pass this one in field. Playing it a bit safer, of course. We have the goal. We'd like more, but we know Manchester City can still attack us. Erling Haaland pushing Ramsdale a bit further, and Erling Haaland, we're tasked with marking him as he gets his second of the game, towering over Ivan Toney. Okay, now it's going to be a nervy ending. Now we've got to be a little bit better. Saka, still, try and play the ball back over to me, Bremer. There's a run on there if we could make it. Got a little bit close, but still not close enough, as oh dear. They're coming forward, and that's a good block. It was going towards Erling Haaland and Toney to pass it into Odegaard. We need a little bit of a run forward there from Martin. Come on, game almost over. Kai Havertz, chip that over. Ivan Toney. Oh, that was a poor call. Not long to go now, though, and Manchester City may attack. We've just tried to slide in and completely missed it. Please, referee, blow that whistle any moment. We need it. Although, we could score here if we get the ball passed to us. We don't, but the referee blows that whistle, and that means Ivan Toney in his final game wins the Champions League. That is glorious. Just the scenes we needed to see on the field. Get in there. It has been 7 seasons in the making, but dreams do come true. What an occasion, as I don't think Toney will get to lift the trophy, but at least he's on that stand somewhere. I think I could just see him at the back next to Ramsdale. He's not even in the camera view, as Martin Odegaard, who played a big part in winning that trophy, gets to lift it. A fairy tale ending as we're going round with the treble winners bus. Of course, 3 trophies Ivan's won in this one season. If you do want to see one of your favourites maybe get built up, comment down below, and it could be the next one done on the channel.